G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for a quick tutorial on Lokarr, how to kill him, and get his set. Now, what is Lokarr's set? I hear absolutely nobody asking ever, because everybody knows what it is and everybody wants it. Well, just in case you've been living under a rock, this is Lokarr's set. Now, this is a 4-piece legendary set, and there's two things that you need to know about this set. The first thing you need to know, looking at the bottom line there, is it requires player level 1. So you can wear this on a brand new character. The second reason is part of the 4-set bonus, 40% experience gained. Now this means you need every single piece of this set in order to get that experience, but this makes it a really nice set for if you want to make your 2nd, 3rd, 7th, 27th alt, and you don't really want to run through the campaign again. Now, personally, I enjoy the campaign, but I know a lot of people don't. Before we get into the actual tutorial part of this, though, we have to go on a little bit of a sanity check. Okay, if you've just hit level 100, or maybe you've been level 100 for a couple of days and you've done about 4 hours of farming, and you're still wearing a level 70 belt, or you're still using your weapon at still level 84, something like that, don't bother watching any further. You can't kill Lokarr. You need to have a at least somewhat finished build before you're going to be able to kill him, especially on hardcore, where one mess up means your character dies. Lokarr is a Celestial, and yes, he's the weakest of the Celestials, but that still makes him a god, and you need to kind of respect him at least a little bit. So, what does he do? Now that you've got your build together, and most finished builds should be able to do Lokarr, but what does he do? Well, he does a lot of fire damage. Like, he does a lot of fire damage. So you're going to want to have fire resistance not only capped, 80% is not enough, you want more than 80%. He also does lightning, especially if you try to run away, there's a lot more lightning damage. Lightning is not quite as important as fire, but you will take some lightning damage from him, so you want as much lightning as you can get as well, though I would prioritize fire over lightning. The other thing you want is you need some armor. The big thing that a lot of people miss with Lokarr is, yes, he does a lot of fire damage, and all of the graphics flying around the screen, they're all going to be red. So everyone's thinking fire. What they're not thinking is most of that damage is actually physical. So you want a character with high armor rating. Now this one has an average of 3,500 armor. On the chest there, it's almost 4,000. This is a very, very high armor character. The other thing you want to look at is your physical resistance. This character's physical resistance is not great. What I could do, I could go and reroll or get more of these pants basically to get more physical resistance. These boots have physical resistance. I think they go up to 5 or 6%. So I could be looking at killing off Morganeth a few more times. Maybe I swap this helmet out for this fight because honestly we don't need Aether or Chaos Res. But you want to have decent physical resistance, you want to have high armor, you want as much fire and lightning resistance as you can get. One thing to think about with your fire and lightning resistance. If your build does not need a medal, so this build, if I take this medal off, this has poison and bleeding resistance. Well, my poison's 46% over, my bleeding's 53% over. If I take this medal off, they're still capped. So I don't need this medal for my build to function. There's no modifiers to skills on this. There's nothing that fundamentally changes how this build works. This just happens to have cold damage on it, and I needed a medal. This is a cold damage build, so I went with this. But this means that I can craft something like the Mythical Sanctus crest here, which comes with 4% maximum fire and lightning resistance and other stuff as well, but those are the two lines that I actually care about. Now this one I crafted, I got the bonus armor percentage on it as well. But realistically, I'm just here for that fire and lightning. So if I chuck that on, instead of taking 17% of fire damage, now I'm taking 13%. And 13%, while it only sounds like it's 4% less damage, it's actually something like 20% less damage from fire, and again, the same from lightning. So something like this in your metal slot is really, really good. Similarly, if your build doesn't need the amulet slot for it to function, mine does, I'm using a conduit, so this build just does not work without this. Conduits do have +3 to maximum all resistances, so that's kind of okay. But you could get something like, oh, what is it called? The Grim... We'll just find it. I'll stop trying to guess here. So we do maximum fire. There it is, Herald of the Apocalypse. You could make this. This is another 8% maximum. Now if I swap this in, I'm up to 87%. If I could wear this, I would add another 5% up to 92% fire resistance. This would be really good. Unfortunately, my build, like I said, does not work without the conduit, so I can't use something like that. But if you happen to have a ring that had that, maybe you want the... Is there a ring in here? I swear there's a ring that has max fire. Anyway, it might be a drop ring. But if you can chuck something like that on just for the fight, it's probably not a horrible idea. So, fire resistance, lightning resistance, physical resistance if you can get it. This is a hard stat to get, especially if you need all your other items for your build. And then armor. Again, if you can't get armor, get physical resist. You want one or the other, preferably both, but it's hard to get both. I'm also going to be using all of these potions. Now, there are more potions that could be useful. These are just the ones that I'm going to pop. And I've picked up these Courageous Tinctures. I'm probably going to forget to use them, honestly, because temporary potions like this are not really something I think about while I'm in the middle of a fight. However, 18 seconds of 25% more armor and a bunch of defensive ability is going to be very, very nice. Now, I'm doing this on my cold converted Force Wave build, which it's kind of tanky, but it's not very ganky, if that makes sense. So Lokar's going to take a while for this to build to kill. And I mostly did that so as I can show off the mechanics. Now, we're almost 10 minutes in, time to get into the actual walkthrough. Before we get started, there are a couple things you need to have. First thing you need is an Ancient Heart and a Black Tallow. These are not expensive, they're not hard to get. You will probably have Ancient Hearts in your stash. You can probably craft a Black Tallow. Go and get those. You will also need a Dynamite if you haven't already been into Nane's stash area. And you need to stand between the legs of this fallen titan. You'll get a little notification, and they will place Sedina's memento into your inventory. Do not lose this. If you lose this, you can't fight Lokarr. You will need to make a new character, get a new Sedina's memento, which only drops on ultimate difficulty, and then you'll be able to do it that way. So, first stop is going to be the Gloomwald. Now, I'm going to kind of point out the first area and then run to the second area. So the first area is this house over here. Inside this house, just in right here at the tip of the pointy part of my little cursor there, is a chest. And inside that chest is a lore note called Nane's Stash. You've probably already picked it up. That lore note will start the Lokarr quest. So go there, get it if you haven't already, read the lore note, then we're going to go into this little patch here. Now, this character's obviously already been in there. There is an Exalted Stash in there. It's part of the Nane's Stash quest. So it's highly likely that most of you have been in that part already. So let's just head down the road here, because there is a blacksmith in that little hidey hole, and he needs to make us an item. Now, you can fight this or not, it doesn't matter. In normal, this is as far as you go, this is all that's there, same with elite, that's it. However, in ultimate, what's this over here? Well, it's a dirt path through some roots. Well, the roots were blocking that off in previous difficulties. Now, however, there is a smith and a note that says, "Turn back." I'm not going to read this, but it's up on the screen now, so you can pause it if you wish to read it. Arcturus, all he does, the only thing he exists for, is to make the Heart of Darkness, for which you need 1 Ancient Heart, 1 Black Tallow, 1 Consecrated Wrappings, and 50,000 bits. So, Give me one of those. And this is 2 of the 3 items we're going to need in order to open the portal to get to Lokarr. The third piece is over here in Barrowhome. So let's go on a little bit of a run here. We're heading to the Chthonic Plain, which is at the top of this map area. So you can fight all this again, you can run past it, doesn't matter, none of this is required for where we're going. So I'm going to skip pretty much all of this. I'm going to try and skip all of it anyway. Some of it I will inevitably kill by accident just by running past, but the majority of this I'm going to be skipping. Now, once we get up to the top of the hill here, we are heading into the portal here, and we don't need to kill anything here again. If you happen to run into the Chthonic Nemesis, feel free to kill it. It's got a few spawn points in here. It doesn't really matter. If you're worried about how much damage you're going to take in this area, then, you know, give up. Lokarr's too hard for you. I'm going to skip the Nemesis there. I did see Gravathor, but we'll just continue on with the guide. Where we are heading is right up here in this top section. You'll see a bunch of... You see a couple of these, and this ancient urn popped into existence because I had the items on me. That drops the mythical Stormheart. And that's it. That's all we're here for. So we have mythical Stormheart, we have a Heart of Darkness, and we have Sedina's Memento. So let's exit to menu so we can get back into the game without having to go and run over to the portal. And now the fun part begins, because if you're playing a build that has a whole bunch of, when I get hit, do extra damage to things, cover the screen in frost, you know, accidentally nuke the entire screen, or if you're playing pets, you're going to have fun with this part. This part is an escort quest. Now, that unfortunately has blocked the road there. There's 3 different places your escort target can spawn. The NPCs will not attack him, but you can very easily kill him by accident. So, places you want to avoid going to until you have cleared a little bit of the area. This platform here. This little house area over here. And also down here. So, the Scholar's Shroud. So I'm going to clear this area because I don't want these things hitting me and triggering all this blue goop flying across the screen, doing tons of damage to everything. This is not the way I'm going to run, but I am going to clear this little bit here, just to avoid, again, filling the screen with damaging procs. So we're going to make our way over here, and we want to get down to this ruined shrine. Again, just clear a little bit extra if you are worried about it, because you don't want him to get lost in the piles of bodies. You don't want to accidentally kill him, because then you need to start again, basically. At least you need to start this part again. You need to exit to menu, come back in, clear the front of the city of Malmouth, and then you can get over here. So this little blue flame here, this is where you want to get our soon-to-be new friend. You want to get him over there. He's just going to follow you. He will run up to you, he'll hit you once, all your defensive procs and such will trigger, and he'll die, and that'll be the end of it. So, first place I want to check is the inside of these imps' guts. No, not really. I'm going to clear this out, actually. So if he's not at the first place, I just cleared a whole bunch of stuff that didn't really matter. Here we go. Okay, first place I'm going to check is this little platform here. Now, this might be open for you. If it is, great. If it's not, too bad. If you run up to here and he doesn't drag himself out of the ground, then he's not here. You can go ahead and leave. The next place I'm going to check is over here in this building. Again, the whole way in, I want to be killing things. I want to be clearing out the trash. Because when he spawns, I don't want to be attacking anything. Because, okay, he's over here at the edge of the screen. I've got something here I'm fighting. I'm attacking. I kill this with an attack, and that attack happened to trigger a proc. Well, it just went off over here, and now Flammeond is dead. So, you do really want to be careful about where you go. You want to drag as much stuff over to you as you can and kill it before you get near these steps. So I'm hoping that he hadn't spawned in that mess and I didn't just accidentally kill him, but he spawns kind of up here. So there he is. Beautiful. All right, so Flammyon Blue, do not let him hit you. If he hits you, there's a very good chance something will trigger and one of like your boots will blow him to pieces or something like that. Try to go back the way you've already cleared. You can get a little ways in front of him. He will follow you from off screen, but it's not super far off screen. I don't really want him to get hit by that. All right, here we go. So little blue man picked up another imp over there who's interested for some reason. But once the little blue man comes near this flame on this little circle, boom, he dies. There's a new portal there, and we can go on through. Once we're in here, there's another lore note. This is your last chance. Again, I'm going to leave this up on the screen for a second. You can go ahead and have a read of that. And then we can talk to the bound spirit. We are going to give her the gifts. Now, the gifts are the heart and Sedina's memento. You will get to keep the mythical storm heart, but you do have to have it on you. If you don't have this, for example, where can I find these things? You have to have all three. So she won't take the storm heart, but she is going to take the heart of darkness and Sedina's memento. And now you have another portal. So we go through there. And we are into the Sanctum of the Chosen, where there is one final note, which we can read. And then there's a kind of semi-hidden door at the back here, which we need to go and open. Do not ever use this particular shrine unless you just want to waste a skeleton key for some reason. And this is the Edge of Reality. Now, in here, monsters are pretty much immune to slow, go faster, do more stuff faster, and I have extra health. This doesn't matter, but this area is related to the Dark Ones set. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here to kill. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here to be very careful about, and I'm going to skip all of it because we are not here for this stuff. We are here for Lokarr. So you can fight this. Like I said, there are, is it Rift-Torn Adherents or something like that, that are going to drop the Dark Ones set. You can fight them, you can try and get the set if you want, but we are here for Lokarr. So from the entry here, you walk through this way. Don't stand in the goop. You walk through here, and then you come up this way. There'll be a blood river. You come through that little gap into here. So you can see there's a gap in the fence over here. Come in here, and then we go inside the tree. Now, inside here, there's no rift gates, so your choices are now either win or die. And we have this here, the root of all evil, which is what we're here to kill, at least for the moment. You can kill off his friends so it does less damage. Not a bad idea, but we generally just want to kill this. Then we get the portal to Lokarr. Now, on the other side of this portal is the Crucible Arena. If you've done the Crucible mode, you will recognize this arena. And at the top of that little section is Lokarr himself. So, I'm going to get ready to fight Lokarr by necking every potion known to man. If you think a potion might be helpful, and it has a 450 or a 900 second duration, drink it now. You want to use everything you can that might even be a little bit helpful the first time you fight him. Okay, when you're ready, head on in. The other thing I went to do is to swap my metal over. That's going to get me more maximum resistances, which was kind of the whole point of that little spiel at the start. Okay, let's go fight him. So, when he spits out these little fire waves, you want to move to the side, because those little fire waves will come back. And you don't want to be there when they get back, because they hurt. So, you can try and maintain a little bit of distance. He will shadow strike you or whatever. But just run around in circles, take a few shots, take a few steps, take a few shots, take a few steps. Try and stay out of all the goop that he's going to spit at you. You are going to be sundered for most of this fight. It's a thing that is going to happen. Just kind of get used to it. And then just keep circling so you don't get hit by the waves on the way back in. And otherwise, keep an eye on your health, use potions as needed, and you should be okay. Now, there is a very good chance that I'm just going to die here. The thing is, you have to be kind of cool, calm, collected. If you start running away, he'll start nuking you with lightning. So just keep going around in circles, you'll get health back, you'll, life steal, whatever. And like I said, I chose this character specifically because the damage on it was a little bit low. And I wanted to show the mechanics. Also, you may have noticed there was a second monster there for a second. And that was one of the clones of John Bourbon. Let's use that temporary potion that I said I was going to forget. Also, Lokarr will stun you a lot. So, you definitely want to be careful about that. There we go. He's got 2 clones now. And this is potentially a problem. You do want to be careful. They will stack up if you don't keep them under control. Alright, we're getting him a bit low. Now, getting stunned inside those waves is not where you want to be. Because those waves, like I said, will come back. Still getting... It's a little bit rippy. Alright, so that's Lokarr dead. Ideally, you want to do this with a build that has a lot more damage, so you don't have to dodge as much, you're not circling as often, and you don't have to deal with quite so many of the extras. But do make sure you use your potions until you're confident that you can kill him, especially on hardcore. You saw how low that got. There was actually a pretty good chance that this build just died. And that's kind of how hardcore works, but yeah. That's Lokarr, that's how you get to him, that's how you kill him. And keep in mind, this is what I'm going to call a finished meme build. The damage is not amazing, the offensive and defensive ability are not amazing. The things this build does is a lot of cold damage and a lot of armor, and that's kind of it. So this is a not good build that I chose specifically because it was tanky and doesn't do a lot of damage. If you were choosing a build to farm Lokarr, I would definitely pick something that does a lot more damage. If you can kill him in 12 seconds, then you don't have to worry about running around in circles. Anyhow, that'll be it for this video, so thank you all very much for watching. Good luck with your Lokarr farming. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.